Well, I was shocked by the tone deafness of those comments, and I think they got bad legal advice in putting together what they were going to say, and they certainly do need to clarify that. And we need to respect one another in our country. And when statements of the kind that they were asked about come out, we need to stand against them and stand firm as Americans for respect for all of the communities that make up America. E pluribus unum. We need to be one country.
That was former Vice President of the United States Al Gore there, calling out Harvard's response to anti-Semitism on its campus. Al Gore, who attended Harvard, said he was shocked by the tone deafness of the elite university when it came to the Israel-Hamas war. He has joined the growing chorus of people condemning Harvard, the University of Pennsylvania and MIT, who have been accused of failing to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitism on campuses since the October 7 attack. It has sparked debate over letting students engage in free speech while also protecting both Jewish and Muslim students at school. Since October 7, there has been a significant rise in anti-Semitism at universities. In fact, a report from late November found 70% of Jewish college students in the United States have been subjected to anti-Semitism within the year. This ongoing argument prompted the presidents from all three universities to testify before a congressional hearing last week. But this hearing sparked further backlash for the Ivy League schools. When questioned over if students calling for a genocide of Jews constitutes as harassment, each president attempted to avoid the question by saying it depends on the context. This tense exchange between Harvard's Dr. Claudine Gay and chairwoman of the committee, Elise Stefanik, did not go down well.
Your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
I will say again, that type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you not say here that it is against the code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
When
you testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada. Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression.
A similar situation occurred between the UPenn president and Congresswoman Stefanik.
I am asking, specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context.
If the
yes or no?
If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide?
After a few days of criticism for all three presidents, Harvard's Claudine Gay was forced to apologise. In an interview with the student paper The Crimson, Dr. Gay said, "I am sorry. Words matter. When words amplify distress and pain, I don't know how you could feel anything but regret." She claimed to have got caught up in what had become, at that point, an extended combative exchange about policies and procedures. But despite the apology, the Harvard president is still facing calls to resign from the job, including from 70 members of Congress. In fact, this billboard on wheels drove around the campus with Claudine Gay's name on it, calling her testimony despicable and that she is the best friend Hamas has ever had. The presidents of both MIT and the University of Pennsylvania were subjected to the same public condemnation. MIT saw Sally Kornbluth refuses to protect Jewish students on campus. MIT deserves better. And Pennsylvania had Penn President Liz McGill refuses to condemn anti-Semitism on campus. She's unfit to serve. While some Harvard donors have called for Dr. Gay's resignation, a petition has circulated with 500 of the university's 2,300 faculty members urging Harvard Corporation to resist firing the president. The petition asks the board, in the strongest possible terms, to resist political pressures that are at odds with Harvard's commitment to academic freedom. And while MIT and Harvard presidents are holding on, over the weekend, Penn President Liz McGill officially resigned after attempting to salvage her reputation following the hearing.
There was a moment during yesterday's congressional hearing on anti-Semitism when I was asked if a call for the genocide of Jewish people on our campus would violate our policies. In that moment, I was focused on our university's longstanding policies aligned with the U.S. Constitution, which say that speech alone is not punishable. I was not focused on, but I should have been, the irrefutable fact that a call for genocide of Jewish people is a call for some of the most terrible violence human beings can perpetrate. It's evil, plain and simple.
News of President McGill's resignation prompted rejoice from Chairman Stefanik, who tweeted, "One down, two to go. This is only the very beginning of addressing the pervasive rot of anti-Semitism that has destroyed the most prestigious higher education institutions in America." This forced resignation of the president of Penn is the bare minimum of what is required. These universities can anticipate a robust and comprehensive congressional investigation of all facets of their institutions' negligent perpetration of anti-Semitism, including administrative, faculty, and overall leadership and governance. Harvard and MIT do the right thing. The world is watching. Fellow Republican Ronnie Jackson mirrored Ms. Stefanik's calls. He tweeted, "President Claudine Gay must step down immediately. The rise of anti-Semitism in America, especially on college campuses, is due to woke leaders like her doing nothing to stop it. This bending of the knee to Hamas, a terrorist organisation, by progressives is sickening." Even celebrity host Dr. Phil weighed in on Liz McGill's resignation.
As an American, I grow increasingly appalled at the anti-Semitism permeating so much of our country, especially by so many students at our elite universities, which have become left liberal woke hotbeds fostering intellectual rot rather than critical thinking, and tolerated or endorsed by their administrations. It has sadly spread to corporate America as well.
However, this clip from CNN's Fareed Zakaria went viral, where he called on all the universities to abandon politics and rebuild their reputations to be focused on research and learning.
What we saw in the House hearing this week was the inevitable result of decades of the politicization of universities. America's top colleges are no longer seen as bastions of excellence, but partisan outfits, which means they will keep getting buffeted by these political storms as they emerge. They should abandon this long misadventure into politics, retrain their gaze on their core strengths, and rebuild their reputations as centers of research and learning.